Well, Havells reported a bit of a miss when it comes to the margin performance, but the stock is doing okay. It's not too bad at the index level or at the stock level. Mr. Anil Rai Gupta, the Chairman and Managing Director at Havells India, joins us on the show right now. Hi, Mr. Gupta. While the revenue growth has been around 11% and looks healthy, it's partially offset by the weak cables and wires performance as well as lighting, where double-digit volume growth was negated by the price erosion that we have been seeing. How would you rate your Q3 performance, and what's the way forward for some of these segments?
I think overall we are, quite happy that the volume growth has come back in lighting, which actually is lighting volume growth is good, and there is a value growth as well, which means the price erosion is sort of tapering off, and hence we are getting the overall value growth back. So it's a healthy season. I think we've always maintained that our main aim has been market share growth through premiumization in lighting, which is panning out well. In cables and wires, I think what is positive is that with the new facility at Topline coming up, we have seen healthy growth in underground cables. But it was a soft quarter for domestic wires because of huge fluctuation in the copper prices. So there was some amount of restocking at the trade level, which led to lower growth, in fact, negative growth in domestic wires, which overall impacted the cables and wires. But otherwise, power cable growth coming back is a healthy sign.
Right. Mr. Gupta, despite gross margin expansion, your EBITDA margin continues to be under pressure, led primarily because of switch gears and ECD. This is largely due to higher OPEX, I guess. What is the outlook then on margins going ahead, and any range that you're targeting for the fourth quarter or for fiscal 26?
Overall, switchgear this particular quarter, there was a mix of two reasons. One, we had some project orders which were at low margins, but also the fact that one of our factories got relocated, which led to some one-off expenses. But I think switchgear should come back to normalized margin levels in the next quarters. And ECD, this is more like an appliance-heavy quarter because of the Diwali season and low on fans, and hence it affected the margins. But I think ECD are also what is healthy is the growth is positive, which is nice, and so margins should definitely come back.
The softness due to quarter end led to channel destocking in wires, thus impacting revenue. Where do you see copper prices are headed in the near term?
I think copper prices have come down a little bit and settled there. As long as they are settled, there is less fluctuations in terms of sales or anything. So I hope it remains stable for some time. And overall, otherwise domestic wires growth is decent. It's just that sometimes the fluctuations can lead to overstocking or understocking. Otherwise, generally the growth is there.
Yeah, the raw material prices have been a bit volatile, but Lloyd at least has managed to show some sort of improvement on a YY basis. But if you look at the EBIT level, that's still negative. What's the margin outlook there? When do you expect it to turn positive on the EBIT level?
For Lloyd, we're quite happy with the progress because we have to look at the overall year because it's highly seasonal in nature. Overall, 9 months, if we see the performance of Lloyd in terms of profitability, is quite a turnaround. And this trend should continue with growth aspirations continuing to be there, and hence heavy investments in brand building and talent development. So I think we are quite positive about the Lloyd development.
Right. The other thing, Mr. Gupta, I also wanted to talk about how the festive season has been for you and what kind of tailwinds have you seen across your verticals in terms of demand?
I think earlier in this quarter, we saw some amount of improvement in the consumer sentiment. The industrial segment continues to remain strong. There was a little bit of positive outlook on the consumer sentiment also. There is still stress on urban consumption, which is leading to a little bit of pressure on the margins. But I think overall there is some positive movement in the consumer sentiment.
Cable revenue was impacted because of destocking in wire and price deflation in the lighting segment. How long do you expect both these overhangs to continue for these segments, and when should one or your shareholders expect to see things improving?
As I said, in lighting, the price erosion is tapering off, so we should start seeing some growth in the coming quarters. And wires, these phenomena are very temporary because there is some amount of restocking them. The next quarter, things come back to normal levels. So I think that's a very temporary phenomenon.
Yes, we are hopeful of that normalcy coming back in the coming quarter. Thanks, Mr. Gupta, for making time and speaking with us. That's the management of Havells talking about what worked well this quarter and what they're anticipating in the coming months as well.
If you like this video, then like, share and subscribe to ET Now.